So my older sister, my twin sister, and I were out for brunch, and we started talking about money. My twin sister exclaimed how she is so happy to get that $100K when I'm 25. I asked what she was talking about, and she said, you're getting $300K from that white man, right? I can't wait for my share. That white man was my boss's father. He was the sweetest, baddest little old Dutch dude you ever met. He treated me like one of his grandchildren when he died. He left me $300K in his will. I'm supposed to be getting it when I'm 25 years old, and the only rule to it was, in my opa's words, "Don't be selfish with it, ladybug." So I was planning on keeping $100K for myself, $100K for my mother, and splitting the last $100K between my 3 siblings. But my twin sister was bothering me since she found out about the money, saying how I should give her the whole $100K because she is a mother with 2 kids. So when my sister said that, my other 2 siblings say how it's not fair that my twin sister is getting the whole $100K, that they have to share it. I remind them about the money situation, and I told my twin that no, she is not getting the whole $100K, that she is splitting it between the other 2, and I already told her already. She started whining about how unfair that mom is getting $100K by herself. I remind my sister that our mom deserves that money more than any of us at that table, and that she hasn't had a car, a vacation, or a firm mattress in years, and how she deserves that money because she took care of snot-nosed brats, us. Well, my sister started arguing with me, saying that she should get the whole $100K, and I split my $100K between our other 2 siblings and let her have the $100K to herself, or let all of them have $100K to themselves. I said, what the hell about mom and me? My sister reminded me that I have $65K in the bank at the moment, and that I should use that for me and mom. Now, dear reader, I only have $65K in my bank account because I saved up money from my jobs for college fund, and my boss gave me $50K to my college for Christmas. I told my sister that I'm not touching that money. It is for my college, and that I work hard for my money. My sister laughed, saying that watching 4 kids and sucking D isn't hard working. My family's dirt poor, and I have to do what I need to do to survive. I will admit, and I have done some odd jobs here and there, but I have been through hell and back working for this damn money, to a point where I lost my mind. I'm in therapy for what I've been through. You're probably wondering, Alize, why did you stay if you're going to so much crap? Find me a job that's offering $400 every week. My sister knows about what I've been through working for my boss's family. All my siblings know now. So my brother told me my twin sister shut the hell up and that I don't have to give her anything. My older sister said, if you're that desperate for money, why not sell the other car? My boss gave my twin a car because he has a soft spot for my nephews. Their old car was too small. My twin sister remarked that the car is not worth crap and how she got more money by selling my nephew's chair. My heart sank because somehow I knew what she was talking about. In my head, I was just screaming, please don't let it be the chair that my opa made for my nephew. Please don't let it be the chair that my opa made for my nephew. Please don't let it be the chair that my opa made for my nephew. My older sister asks, what chair? The white chair with the pterodactyl on it that Alize's grandpa made. My twin sister replied. I was furious. I asked how could she sell my opa's chair? Was a gift for my nephew. She didn't have the right to sell it. My sister exclaimed how she is my nephew's mother and that whatever he owns is hers. I asked how much she made selling my grandpa's chair. She said just $30 because the wood was good quality. I wanted to strangle her with her stupid ascot because my grandpa was an amazing wood carver. That was his passion when he retired, and he spent his last 20 years perfecting his skill in craftsmanship. He will take old pieces of furniture, make them new again, and give them away to homeless shelters or people in need. If you are having a baby, he would make little merry-go-round things for cribs out of good wood for free. My grandpa donated a lot of his money to people who need it more than him. He was an amazing parent, and there's a plaque in his hometown square dedicated to my grandpa. So I started screaming, are you ducking stupid? $30! Ducking $30! It was worth way more than that. My sister said how, that it wasn't worth that much because it was unfinished. Then, my twin sister proceeded to berate grandfather, calling him lazy and unprofessional, and that he did a crappy job with the paint. Do you want to know why my grandpa couldn't finish the chair that he made for my nephew? It's because he got cancer and died shortly after starting the chair. So it's not painted properly and only has one little bad pterodactyl on it. And my twin sister knew about the whole chair situation. And I came to realize that my twin sister was just a bee. And in that moment, it was like a pair of red sunglasses being left from my eyes, and I saw all the red flags that she produced. I finally truly understood what my boss sees in her. She's an ungrateful, evil bee. I understand why my boss called her the 2.0 version of his daughter. I understand now. I see now. What he meant when my boss said, "Why do you give a crap about her? She's just going to hurt you in the end." It all makes sense to me. For years, this summy bee tortured me, dug me up physically and mentally. She will admit that she tortured me and laugh and play it off like it was a joke. I had to walk on eggshells around her, to a point where I won't even talk around her because I was afraid to say something stupid. I remember now as I type this out that I actually told my sister about what Lucifer did to me, the name I give my boss's brother. And she made jokes about it. Not once, but twice. When I try to confide in my twin sister, she made jokes about me. So I was boiling at this point when she said, "Oh, also, I hate his name, Warlock. I can't stand that name. And also, he could have left something in will for me." I was around him too, you know. Warlock wasn't my grandfather's real name. That's the name of the immediate family call him because he really couldn't stand his first name. And now I'm pregnant, and if I'm having a boy, I'm going to name my child after my grandfather. I love that man so much. So when she said all of that crap, it pushed me over the edge. I grabbed my cup full of apple juice and dumped it right over her head. I started screaming and I left, cursing her out in Dutch. I was crying on the highway when I called my fiancé to pick me up. I cried. I explained what happened and he was just as pissed as I was because that was his actual biological grandfather. My boss was pissed. He wanted to confront my sister, but I told him not to. At the moment, I don't want to talk to any of my family. I'm just going to drown myself in lemon Oreos. My sister to keep texting me saying how sorry she is, that she didn't mean to make me upset. She realized I'm the one with the money. But my brother texting me saying not to accept her apology because she remembered I'm marrying into rich. I understand how I wasted my youth tending to her every needs and wants. I'm done being her ducking doormat. She's not invited to my wedding. I want my nephews to have a relationship with my children, but I don't want her in my life, and I'm not giving her any money. I'm going to go cry myself into a vegetative state with snacks. I know it wasn't my right to be upset by the chair, but I have memories of watching my grandfather make chair, so it hurts a lot. And I'd like to point out that anything with my grandfather's signature of business on it, it's worth at least $1,000, unfinished or not. Edit. I know I shouldn't have run my mouth about the money, but I thought I could trust them with the fact because they're my family and all. I'm going to make a college fund for my nephews. She's not getting a penny of that damn money. My mom is mad at me because my sister's family is struggling, and money will come in handy down in the future. But in the word of my grandpa once said, sometimes bees need to keep their mouth shut. The people who said that they'll be disrespecting my grandfather if I give my sister that money. Thank you for making me see that. She's not getting crap from me. Also, I might want to add this here. My sister is married, and I feel so sorry for her husband. The only reason why she needs money because she keeps throwing parties and events. Edit 2. Her husband called me, apologizing for his wife's actions. I told him all the BS his wife pulled and that I don't want my twin sister in my life anymore. But I want a relationship with my nephews. We're going to sit down and talk this out tomorrow. I'm going back to sleep. If I were you, I wouldn't have told any of my family about the money. When family knows you are coming into money, they start acting entitled to it, even though it isn't theirs. You should sit on the idea your sister had and think about not giving your twin any of that money. She might need it, but she clearly doesn't deserve it. Update. So, my boss, let's call Mr. Smith, actually having used that name for him in a while. My fiancé, Oz, Mr. Smith's nephew, and I sit down with my twin sister, T.S., and her husband, H. Oz and Mr. Smith are pissed because my sister disrespected their grandfather. And right off the bat, my sister started apologizing, saying she didn't mean to hurt my feelings. She should have realized that being selfish, but she didn't. She was boo-hooing and saying how we are sisters, and we shouldn't have some money left to get between us, yada yada. And like the idiot I am, I ate it up. I start crying hard. She got up to hug me and I was about to do the same thing, but Mr. Smith grabbed my arm and sat me back down and said, "Don't fall for it. B don't change." Husband snapped at Mr. Smith, telling him not to call his wife a B. Oz told me to not give a damn, because twin sister just tried to manipulate me like she always has been, and remember that she sold our Opa's chair. I was like, yeah, she sold my Opa's chair. I asked who twin sister sold the chair to, and that I was willing to pay money for it to get it back. And like the greedy bee she is, my sister gave up the information with ease. She sold it to one of husband's cousins. But husband exclaimed how it was too late and that the chair was already a wooden rings, and he showed us a picture of it on his phone. My boss was screaming at him, and husband was confused. He said that my sister already had my boss's permission to sell the chair. We just looked at twin sister. Twin sister started crying more, apologizing, saying how if she would have asked, we would say no. So much yelling. It was going back and forth. Mr. Smith and Oz were calling my sister a bee, saying how she's a liar, and husband was trying to settle all of them down. Then my sister realized I wasn't talking and got mad at me, saying how I could sit there and let them berate her and not defend her. I wasn't saying anything because I'm afraid little girl. I'm still afraid of my twin sister. I started shaking and crying. Oz and Mr. Smith started freaking out, trying to calm me down because 1, stress on the baby isn't good, and 2, the last time I freak out was really bad, to the point I bit down on my hand. I have pica. I broke the skin. I also have autism, so yeah, me freaking out won't be good. My baby didn't like what I ate this morning and tried to force it back up, so I vomited all over my sister's pants. She ran to the kitchen sink while I ran to the kitchen garbage to vomit. I started crying more cause I hate vomiting, and my sister was screaming at me because I vomited on her expensive pants and calling me a ducking idiot. Oz yelled, "She's pregnant, you moron." Everyone stopped and looked at me, and I looked at Oz because he wasn't supposed to tell anyone until we go to the doctor. Everything has been backed up to crap, so we can't get into the doctor until late October. Then my sister became sickly sweet, asking if it was true. I just nodded because I tried to say something, but vomit came out. So this is what Oz told me because I had my face buried in the garbage can. Twin sister was smiling and coming up to me saying how she's going to become an aunt when my boss stepped in front of her. He told her to leave, and they started arguing. Oz helped me up by putting me into a room to try to get away from the noise because I was covering up my ears and telling them to stop screaming. I was sitting on my bed and Oz was making me use my inhaler because I was having trouble breathing. I was just freaking out bad. Oz was trying to calm me down when my sister came in and made me choose between my boss and her. Oz said, "Do you really think she would choose you?" And my sister explains how I'm her sister and nothing breaks a twin's bond. I just looked at her and I don't know how to describe. So I'm gonna put it in Oz's words. It was like a red airplane flying overhead with a banner. See this? This is a red flag. I looked at my sister and then my boss, and I thought about all the good Mr. Smith did for me. He's everything to me. When I had no one, Mr. Smith was there. When I was sad, depressed, or just wanted to be around someone, he was there for me. He came too, paid for every art show, guitar, violin, piano recital. He bought my instruments. He bought my first computer, and he treated me like one of his kids. He encouraged me. He pushed me to be greater than I think I am. He didn't discourage me. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. He's my best friend. He applied me with so much alcohol. He protected me from my family and his. He opened up his home to me. He did not have to do it, but he did it anyway. I love him. Then I thought about all the things my sister did for me. It's love there, it truly is, but there's a lot of misery and regret. So I took a deep breath and said with all the pride my broken mental state butt can produce, "Get the hell out of my dad's house." She was flabbergasted, and I had a smile on my face. My boss screamed, "You heard the bee. Get the duck out." My sister was like, "You're going to regret this." "No, I won't." And she stormed off. Not before she grabbed the tablet off my shelf and threw it at my head. It missed and smashed right into the wall, shattering the screen. As she stormed out the house, she screamed, "You're going to be a terrible mother." And I screamed back, "I'm going to be a better mother than you are." After that, I just broke. I became a crying mess. It's been a few hours since, and I talked to my mom about the money situation. I am willing to buy her the things she needs, but she's not getting my money for herself. If she wants it, she has to go through me. Oz and Mr. Smith is proud of me. I don't know how to feel. I'm sad and scared, and I'm questioning things. This is a setback in my therapy, and my paranoia is being a D at the moment. If I want a relationship with my nephews, I can just go to my mom's house. She watches them, so I'm not worried about that. I'm tired.